Welcome everybody. Today we are going to learn the new bone and that is the femur. So here in this skeleton, this is femur with the hind, this is the femur. Now we study it in detail. I will take the femur. So this is femur. Here you can see that femur, it is a bone from the thigh region. This region is thigh, this region is hip, this is leg region, the remaining portion is the waist region. So femur is a bone from the thigh region. And how it is placed? It is placed obliquely downward and forward. And proximally, it is articulated with the acetabular cavity of the os coccyx to form the hip joint, and distally it is articulated with the patella and the tibia fibula to form the stifle joint. So this is femur. Femur is a bone from the thigh region placed obliquely downward and forward, and proximally it articulates with the acetabular cavity of the os coccyx to form the hip joint, and distally it is articulated with the patella and the tibia fibula to form the stifle joint. Now, regarding the description of the femur, femur it is a long type of bone, and as we know that every long bone should necessarily have got a body and two extremities. So this femur is a long bone and presents a body part and the extremity. So this is body. Now body has got four surfaces and two borders. This is cranial surface, this is caudal surface, this is medial surface, this is lateral surface. And regarding borders, this is lateral border and this border is the medial border. Now how I have named it, that needs to be understood properly, and for that there are certain principles. So first principle is that hold the head of the femur upside. It should not be like this, it should necessarily be upside. So this is head. Now I am holding it in both the hands, and when I look here I am able to see one trochlea, pulley-like structure, and behind these are the two condyles. So while holding, as I said, the first principle, hold the head up, then see that the trochlea is kept in front so that condyles will lie behind. So this is proper position. Third principle is that the head, since it is articulated with the acetabular cavity, it is directed medially. Since I said that head is directed medially, it means this is medial surface. So when I am saying that this is medial, this becomes lateral, and the trochlea is here, means this is cranial, and opposite of that this is caudal. Regarding borders, we said that head is directed medially, it means this is the border which can be named as medial, and opposite border, this is lateral border. Okay, so this is how we have to name it. So once again I will start that the femur is a bone from the thigh region. It is placed obliquely downward and forward. Proximally it articulates with the acetabular cavity of the os coccyx to form the hip joint, and distally it is articulated with the patella as well as tibia fibula to form the stifle joint. Then I said that femur is a long type of bone, and so it presents body and these two are the extremity. As I said, body has got four surfaces. These surfaces, they are cranial, caudal, medial and lateral. Similarly, regarding borders, both the borders are from the caudal aspect. This is lateral border and this is the medial border, which is not very well defined. So now first we are going to start with the body part, and this is cranial, I said, this is medial, this is lateral. If you look at all these three surfaces, the medial, the cranial and the lateral, you will see that it is smooth and rounded. So we are taking all the three surfaces together, that cranial, medial and lateral surface of the femur is smooth and rounded from side to side. Now the fourth surface, that is caudal surface. Look at the caudal surface. Caudal surface, you will see that here it is narrow in the middle and it's becoming wide towards the proximal as well as distal extremity. So the statement which I am going to make regarding the caudal surface is the caudal surface is narrow in the middle and becomes wide towards the extremities. Now the borders. This is the medial border. The medial border has got two structures here. One is here and the other is here. Now if you make three equal parts of the body, this will be the one part, this will be the second part and this will be the third part. And based on its location we can name these parts as this is distal third, this is middle third and this is proximal third. So medial border in its proximal third presents a rough protruded area. The rough protruded area in general we call it tubercle. Since it is femur, in femur we do not use the tubercle or tuberosity term, but we make use of the term trochanter. Now this trochanter is called as trochanter minor because this is little smaller in size. So the medial border in its proximal third presents a rough protruded area called as trochanter minor. The medial border in its distal third presents a crest. Now this crest is above the condyle, these are the condyles, and this is above the condyle, and therefore it is above means supracondyloid, and it's a crest, therefore supracondyloid crest. But similar crest is there from the lateral side, we need to differentiate it, and therefore we are adding medial term because this is a medial border. So medial supracondyloid crest. So in distal third part, it presents a crest called as medial supracondyloid crest. Now the lateral border. The lateral border in its distal third presents a depression. Here there is a depression. Depression means fossa, and this fossa is also lying above the condyle. Therefore, this is called as supracondyloid fossa, and it is guarded by a crest called as lateral supracondyloid crest. So this is all about the surfaces and the borders. Now the extremity. The proximal extremity is characterized by presence of head. Then there is a constricted part called neck. Third part is on the lateral side at the proximal extremity, and that is called as trochanter major. So this is trochanter major. Then trochanter major caudally has got a ridge that is called as trochanteric ridge, and here just besides that there is depression. This depression is called as the trochanteric fossa. So there are five things present at the proximal extremity: the head, neck, trochanter major, trochanteric ridge and trochanteric fossa. Now one by one we will describe it. The head. Head is smooth, rounded or spherical articular area, and it is articulated with the acetabular cavity of the os coxae bone to form the hip joint. Now above the head, here I will mark it with this chalk. Here there is a depression. Depression means fossa or fovea. So this depression is present on the head, therefore it is called as fovea capitis. Now the importance of the fovea capitis is that this fovea capitis gives attachment to the round ligament, which lies like this, and it is articulated with the non-articular part of the acetabular cavity, and therefore it can get firmly attached inside the acetabular cavity and provide firmness to the hip joint. So head is smooth, rounded or spherical articular area which articulates with the acetabular cavity of the os coxae to form the hip joint. The head in its middle presents a depression called as fovea capitis, which gives attachment to the round ligament, and head is directed medially. Just below the head there is a constricted part called as neck. It joins to the body and the head. Then laterally there is a massive rough protruded area which is called as the trochanter major. This trochanter major caudally slopes down and continues below to form the trochanteric ridge. This is the trochanteric ridge, and it encloses a depression called as trochanteric fossa. So these are the 5 structures present at the proximal extremity. Now we'll see the distal extremity. Distal extremity is characterized by presence of a pulley-like articular area in front called as trochlea, and there are 2 condyles from behind which are separated from each other by intercondyloid fossa. So first we will take the trochlea. Trochlea is guarded by 2 ridges. This is one ridge, the second ridge. This is lateral, this is medial. If you look at the level of these ridges, you will see that this medial ridge is placed much higher in level than that of the lateral. Then caudally, and this trochlea gives accommodation to the patella, over which the patella slide or glide. Then caudally there are 2 condyles which are separated from each other by intercondyloid fossa, and these condyles articulates with the articular condyles of the tibia. Now in between, this is lateral ridge and this is lateral condyle. There, here you will see there is one depression here in between the lateral ridge of the trochlea of femur and the lateral condyle of the femur. There is a depression. This depression is called as extensor fossa. So this is all about the femur. Thank you very much.